Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. Thank you for joining us. And today, well, we thought we'd just sort of we'd look at something that sounds very, very good. The whole energy situation, talking about power now, electricity, and something the Vice President visited a village, as you recall, in Wuna. It was a village, Wuna, I think, in Abuja. And among a lot of things he had said, he was really saying that, look, there was a lot of promise in solar energy. And one of the marvelous headlines was that very, very soon, operators of generating sets would be out of business. When you read the body of the story, though, it does explain it a bit more, that one particular guy that was used to charging phones for the people of Wuna now had to shift their business elsewhere because there wasn't any business there anymore. As a result of operating sort of a solar power policy, things were, everybody in that village can draw the little power that they need for things like charging their phones and that kind of a thing. Kids can stay up late and work because I think there are a few points, 4 points or so in every household. So the promise of that is what the Vice President was highlighting, but it then became very soon, all generating sets operators shall be out of business, courtesy of the headlines. Now, the two experts to help me look at the viability of solar power as an alternative electricity source. We got Dr. Samuel Ibiemi, who is publisher of Nigeria News Direct, and he's also an energy consultant. Thank you very much for coming.
Good morning.
Indeed. And engineer Martin Onovo, he's an energy expert and a one-time presidential candidate. Thank you very, very much for coming on, Chief Onovo.
Thank you very much.
Indeed, my pleasure. Now, let me start with, if I may, the promise of solar. It's limitless. It's free. The sun, it's there. We know about it in other parts of the world, but what is the viability in our locale?
Well, if solar will be viable, you will need a lot of sunlight, which we have.
Mm-hmm.
You will also need the technological and technical capability to store it, which also exists. That's not a question. But there is a serious constraint. When you want to solve a problem like the power problem Nigeria has, you need to look at your options. That is the proper professional way to look at it. And then you're supposed to select your best options based on functionality and cost. That is the right professional thing to do.
Okay.
You select your best options based on functionality and cost. While solar power is technically feasible, it is not economically and commercially competitive. It is not. Therefore, for those two reasons and many other reasons, which I would like to highlight, it won't be your first option.
Okay.
In trying to solve the Nigerian power problem.
Okay, I'm going to come back to you. Thank you very much for that, opening bird's eye view. What Engineer Novo has highlighted there is the fact that, it sounds good, but it is expensive. Quite frankly, it is expensive, relatively speaking. Now, a lot of people have solar chargers, little torchlight devices, little 8x10 squares that they hold up to the sun. That's one example of the principle, but we're talking about, I imagine, something similar to wind farms. Is what we probably are going to be needing if we're going to be getting serious, where the entire roof of the house, for example, instead of being roofing sheets, where in addition to roofing sheets, is now covered by this whole solar panel thing. I guess that would be the ideal that I've seen abroad, in documentaries. Try and relate that to here. I haven't, except there may be some experimental places, I haven't actually seen any houses or buildings with entire roofs made up of solar panels.
In Nigeria, it's a project I think that should be for the future, not for now. Because if you look at funding constraint, number one, today we are generating below 5,000 megawatts. even though we have capacity to generate over 7,000 megawatts from hydro and gas, thermal. So if you're not looking at...
Is wind in the picture at all?
Yes, not wind, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Even though we're in Sokoto, we've been talking of wind plants. But if you look at what we are generating today, the cost of doing that, the government cannot even raise the fund. And if you and with the privatization of PXN, subsidiary, the 8th generation power plant that we have today, also they can still not be able to meet up because discos cannot pay. And who are those that are really owing? Government agencies and so to say that are owing the discos. So if you are not talking of wind plants, who is going to drive it?
Okay.
In every country of the world, for anything that is going to be successful, it should be driven by the government. But government today cannot even provide power, and that was the reason why we said we should, the PSN was actually privatized, because government cannot raise adequate funds to actually finance even generation. So if you look at Nigeria, for me, we should not even look at the aspect of either solar or wind or any of these renewables for now, because it's expensive, like you rightly said. It's expensive. If you're looking at the cost, personally, the initial cost, although over time, if you look at it over time,
of course,
the cost begins to go down.
Yes,
over time.
But it's a long-term project, not even a medium long-term.
A project for now.
No.
At individual, it will enable us to actually decentralize our power system. There are a lot of things that we need to put in place. First of all, the grid. We have to decentralize the grid. That's one. We can't say, for instance, in Lagos, for you to be able to produce like even 5 megawatts, where are you going to supply it? Where are you going to release it? To the because you have to make the cost grid. From those who are taking it from the grid. They won't be able to pay for it because the cost of producing solar is quite higher. So do you now want to adjust the rate for companies that are taking power already from thermal or hydro from the current national grid? So these are the challenges. We have to restructure our grid. We have to there are a lot of things we need to restructure first before we talk of there should be a policy. Yes. A policy. And that policy is not something I just wake up one day and then say, oh, we are going to have solar. I believe you have to take time. It will take a period. Not even 5 years. And
not a short period. Not a short period. Most people know that about solar. We need to,
first of all, address our challenges now.
But I'm going to come.
Look at South Africa. South Africa is talking about 40,000 megawatts.
Exactly.
I was in United Arab Emirates about 6 years ago, and they were talking of they are already running Etasketa because it was the calculation was that in another 5 years there was going to be shortage of power. So United Arab Emirates was inviting a lot of investors across the world. Please come and invest in this, invest in that. But here, we cannot even be able to provide enough power.
I hear that, and I have no doubt that the Vice President was probably also aware of some of this. But he did say that he was in Wuna to see it, Wuna village, to see it for himself, and that the village is now running water solar powered. And now I wonder how that happened, because he saw that the school has power. The school hall is now used as a community hall in the evenings. Each home has 4 light points. And in Lagos, where you guys also stay, some of the time at least, if not all of the time like some of us, you see all these street lights. I hear that they're solar powered. So how is it working there? And is that not some sort of an encouragement that, look, what is starting out on a small scale can indeed spread?
I think you're deviating from what both of us have said. There is no technical impossibility with solar. So if you buy solar panels and buy battery storage and install it, it's going to give you light. But if you are looking at the solution to the Nigerian power problem, solar is clearly not your best option for several reasons, not one.
Okay, I hear that. And maybe while you're at it, you might explain, for example, the street lights. Wait a minute. For example, the street lights in Lagos, most of them. So from what you're saying, Lagos has intentionally decided to pursue an economically viable project.
No, let's talk about that. How reliable are the Lagos solar energy systems?
What do you think?
Very unreliable. Okay. Very, very unreliable.
Okay.
Can we check out those in Alausa immediately after this program? That's one. River State.
In broad daylight?
Yes, I mean, River State.
In broad daylight? You want them on in broad daylight? When you said immediately after this program, let's check them out. Because they work at night.
No, it's very simple now.
They work at night.
If we go there, we don't have to wait till it is night. We can ask, do they work? Then you have your answer.
Where most people around,
let me make this
around
point.
the area will attest that, you know, it does work most of the time.
I have passed there in the night and it wasn't working.
Okay.
So I know.
Okay.
Now,
sometimes.
River State,
sometimes.
River State has a similar experience with the failure of their solar projects like Lagos. I have a solar garden lamp. It's not working right now. It didn't work for a long time.
Yeah, but solar
I'm coming.
It's not the kind of thing we're talking about. That's deviating
it's the same
from what
technology.
we're talking about. I know.
Hold on. It's the same technology. It's panels, solar panels, and storage batteries. That's what it is.
That is.
Basically.
That's it.
So you need to understand that. Now, this is how we wrongly diagnose problems, use roadside analysis, implement false solutions, and we keep failing as a people. 200 million people failing repeatedly. I heard some of the things he said, they're very deep. So if we don't pass that message, we have achieved nothing on this program.
No, the program is achieving what it is achieving.
No, I'm saying if we don't pass that message.
No, what we're trying to do is sort of explain the whole principle behind solar, which is what you guys are doing admirably.
Okay.
You know, but let's keep it on track.
Okay. Now, I have a message to pass. And I need to pass that message. It's my responsibility to my country to pass that message. That for a solution to the national power challenge, Yori's personal power challenge in his house, solar may be the best option if we do a proper evaluation. And Yori is very wealthy and is an environmentally oversensitive man. It may be the right solution for Yori. For Nigeria, it is not the right solution. Let me just name the reasons so that if you now want explanations, we can go in. Capital cost, averagely, is about 5 times more than gas to power.
Of course.
And I'm repeating myself because General Obasanjo has solved the problem you and I are trying to solve here before. I'm coming. Capital cost. Our experience with solar, the solar projects we have done over the years, have not been very successful. We're talking about environmental. I'm an environmental activist. The reality is that there is nothing artificial that does not have environmental impact. So what you do is you make a judgment. Which one has less impact comparatively? Because you will still have to dispose your solar panels.
Yes.
When they burn out, you still have to dispose them.
And how do you do that?
Now, also for the national power situation, the biggest solar power plant in the world is only about 10% of a wind capacity. In fact, less than. So you need many more. So to get an wind capacity, you need about 13 of the highest powered solar plant in the world. You also need a lot of space, acreage. If you see a solar farm, it's acreages to get any significant power. On the roof of your house, I don't think you can get more than 5 kVA from the roof of your house. So that is how many you have to multiply to go and get 1,000 megawatts. It is too much space. So maybe we'll not even have farms in Nigeria, get agricultural farms, solar farms. So these things is easy for people who have not studied the subject to give those kind of solutions. But when engineers, professionals like us work, the first thing you do, you identify all your options. You do a proper evaluation on all your options using your approved criteria. And that's why when I was using Yori example, I say if it's an environmentally oversensitive Yori, those kind of things.
I don't know why you didn't want to use Martin.
Okay.
You know, I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know why everybody does that. But
I give up.
But the point he's
Let me
making,
just take it from there.
Sure, because the point he's making, you see, a lot of what he said is actually out there in the public space already. He's not said anything new. Most people are aware of this. It's not a walk in the park. It's not a piece of cake, but it's an incremental addition, and we're looking at all solutions. Nobody, I don't think, is really suggesting that we can switch over to solar, but that the contribution of solar should not be sneezed at or sneered at, seems to be the point.
No. If you look at the law of comparative advantage,
which he said, because you got to have all your options.
We have to look at that first. What do we have in excess that we need to explore?
Thank you.
Sun, too much of it.
No.
Gas.
How
too much sun.
What of
Too
the
much
cost?
gas.
No,
Okay.
what of the cost?
Gas.
Now, for the gas that we have in Nigeria today, we are yet to explore 30% of our reserves, even the proven reserves.
We're in top 5 in the world.
So if you now look at that sun and you look at gas, then which of them can we easily assess? When we explore it, you develop it. Currently, we have so many fields in Nigeria. Even as of today, we are not producing non-associated gas.
And I think what you're saying is that the infrastructure to exploit gas is almost is on ground.
It's existing.
As opposed to solar.
What we are producing today is even non-associated gas. There's never been a time what we call licensing and even for non-associated. The gas we are using currently are associated gas. So, and these are even the volume we have. If we can produce another 30%, that will move Nigeria to above 30,000 megawatts, of which we are just below 5,000 megawatts today. Why not invest our resources in this area? Then allow that of solar. Let's allow that of solar for on individual basis.
Yes,
it's a good thing if you talk of, oh yes, in my house, maybe because of the failure of PXN, inadequate power, I get a solar panel, develop something for myself, but not as a policy of the government, not as a solution in which the federal government should look at.
Especially because
if really we want to move forward, if we want to compete, because you cannot tell a firm, a manufacturer, that yes, this is the alternative for you. That yes, the government, for instance, if we want to talk of solar now, like Riley said, before you have to store it, you have to get a large space for it. Yeah. So, and that will be for only maybe an industrial settlement. So if we have an industrial settlement today, for instance, like maybe Agbara, and you now said, yes, all the manufacturers in that area, the government is going to supply you, provide you with solar power. They will compare, the first thing they are going to do is to compare the cost of that, of solar to gas.
Simple.
And then even to direct supply from national grid. Today, you see, the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, they've been developing alternative. When they look at what they are getting even from the discos that they are not getting enough, they're already looking at which one is regular, which one is cheaper, and instead of them just running out of operation. So
for small operations like charging your phones or little things like that, but
private homes,
in private homes,
yes,
and as the engineers have been have told us, telling us, and most of us also know from practical experience, a kilowatt of electricity or whatever the measure is takes ages and ages to accumulate, and depending on what you connect with, you could actually discharge it. So that's another efficiency whole matter.
Oh, sure.
You know, so and then the storage of it and what you can do with that storage, because everybody knows from your inverters. From your inverters, you get the principle from your inverters. You can't put. It's unlikely that you're going to be able to iron on your inverters, for example.
Let me also add to that.
Sure.
If you want to compare Nigeria to other countries, the top 10 countries today that are using solar, they don't have gas, they don't have oil, they don't have fossil fuel.
Okay, so they don't have a choice.
And the alternative, the only way for them is to say, okay, this is what we are. Sweden today, if you look at Sweden, Sweden, there's no oil, there's no gas in Sweden. So the only way for them, even US, they said is people are talking of driving solar. Not even up to 10%. Not even to
10?
not even 5%. So why Nigeria?
So
at this point, when we need to develop our economy, thousands are unemployed. How many jobs can solar provide for Nigerians? For Nigeria as a country, how many jobs can we create from solar compared to gas?
Well, this is something that what you gentlemen are saying, being professionals and all, I'm sure this is something that the Vice President would have found out if he didn't know it already at the inauguration of the Nigeria Renewable Energy Roundtable. That place is going to be full of engineers, right?
No, excuse me.
That's not how it works.
The Vice President is a politician. I'm a politician.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the roundtable on Nigerian renewable energy, surely there will be professionals in there.
Excuse me, did they make the decisions? Politicians make the decisions. I'm a politician. The Vice President is
and
a
also
politician.
an engineer.
Yes, registered one. The Vice President is also a politician. And there is a tendency for us as politicians to be populist. That was the tendency that led the ruling party to promise 4 million houses in 4 years. I don't know whether you have seen 1,000. So let's calm down a little bit and deal with the issues. Now, he has a very good understanding of this subject. And I am telling you that the Nigerian Society of Engineers, the whole Nigeria, has looked at this power problem and came up with a solution. That's the solution he's repeating. That's the solution I'm repeating. Chief Dr. Osinbajo, as President and Commander-in-Chief.
Doctor?
Yes.
Chief Doctor?
Yes,
okay.
Chief Doctor.
Okay,
Osinbajo has many doctorate degrees.
Yeah.
And he performs better than many of your academic doctorate degrees. So
you're really in that mood this morning, Martin.
I'm telling you,
Martin, you're really in that mood. You're taking no prisoners this morning.
No,
okay, continue.
You're retired and understand. what I'm saying is this. This is 2017.
Sure.
The government led by Chief Dr. Osinbajo had a solution. In 2002 or earlier, it was the same solution, gas to power, that he's repeating to you, that I'm supporting. Mm-hmm. So Nigeria knows the solution to his problem.
So what's the problem with achieving
deliberately complicate it.
So what's the problem of, if you were to uncomplicate, as it were,
gas to power?
The gas to power, what would that take? What would that take?
The problem we have is inconsistency.
Thank you.
There's never been a follow-up. Today, the current administration is talking of solar. Remember, Obasanjo started gas to power. In 2010, Jonathan again relaunched that gas master plan. The essence of it is for us to provide more gas for power. That is, we have what we call again domestic gas obligation and all that. That is for you to solve any gas that you have.
That has been reversed how many times?
Several times.
Because there's a revenue, forex revenue competition with domestic gas supply.
Yes.
People don't understand.
The problem we have is inconsistency in policy of our government. So if we can focus and say today, we put it on the table, say that yes, we want to focus on gas to power. We look at it again, where and where. Remember, we also have that of Chief Obasanjo that time also, when we have location of certain power plants. Power plants where there is no gas.
Exactly.
Where we have power plant
had that problem
without gas pipeline.
That's politics interfering.
Like Papalanto and other areas. So really, if we want to handle all these things professionally,
that's politics. That's incompetence.
Yes. No, that's politics. Because it's politicians that take decisions.
Yes.
You have to know that.
And sometimes they can be incompetent.
No, sometimes they can be very populist.
And incompetent as a direct consequence.
And political.
Okay.
They want to favor Yori. They put it in Yori's village.
You come back with this whole matter again.
Okay.
Sorry. Gas to power.
They want to favor Dr. BME. They put it in his village. They remove it from Yori's village.
They remove it from Martin's village. They remove it from Martin's village. Take it to Dr. BME's village.
If I happen to be one of the decision makers today in politics, I'm very sure that I will have a power plant in my town.
Did you hear that?
Yes, I have a power plant in my town. Yes.
That is the politics interfering.
That's the
viable or not.
Viable or not. Whether there is
so that's the incompetence of politicians that I spoke
about. That's what we've been experiencing in Nigeria. Okay, why should we? When you are talking of gas power plants, we are talking of power plant. Power plant is going to use gas. Why will you go and allocate, site a power plant in Ajaokuta when we have the gas in the Niger Delta?
You see, thank you very much, gentlemen, when you bring up this whole matter about politics and politicians and the role they play. But wait a minute, gentlemen. politicians are in there. Martin wanted to be president.
I'm a politician.
He wanted to be president. He wanted to be president so that he could be of service. He could develop. Surely he would have leaned. Wait a minute. He would have leaned on experts. Yeah. Politicians who don't know anything about it can get elected into office. You then lean, but you lean on experts. No, so what's going on here?
Remember what our past president said, that if you offer me your advice, if I like, I take your advice.
It's not by force.
So it's not by force. It's only because most of our experts, it's very unfortunate, it's only in Nigeria, when you offer advice and they don't take your advice, you want to stay there because of what you're also getting.
Now, from what you guys are saying,
yes, because I'm fair with them. Yes, I'm fair with them.
You guys
not minding your image.
You guys are not taking any prisoners this morning. Now, this round table, this round table that the vice president was at, Nigeria Renewable Energy Round Table on Tuesday in Abuja. Yes. Forgive me for being so naive. I imagine they're going to be experts.
Invited.
Thank you. I imagine Martin would be there. You would be there.
Although I was invited.
Would be there.
I'm sure you know the vice president doesn't like my face. Acting president. This is so you wouldn't expect me to be there.
But there will be professional engineers there.
Okay.
Otherwise, why you would call it a round table?
Excuse me.
What I'm saying is to wait for the report. You've explained how politics interferes.
Oh yes.
You've explained that very, very clearly. Yeah. But for how long are we going to keep on doing things in the wrong way and expect a different result becomes the whole question again. I think I've got to go to break now. I'll be right back, and then we'll include your calls as well. Please stay with us. Okay, welcome back. Having this feisty conversation. Politicians interfere with efficiency seems to be the thing that I've got out of this in some cases, hopefully not in all cases. Mr. George, good morning. Thank you for holding on all that while.
Thank you, Uncle Yori. Good morning to your guests as well.
Indeed.
Well, if I understood what the experts there are saying, Uncle Yori.
Yes.
They are saying comparatively, the amount you spend on solar is far higher than that of gas.
To start off,
I want to ask them. We have spent close to $40 billion on gas since we started looking for energy in Nigeria. Is it more expensive than that to go with solar? That's number one. It appears to me that if we go for solar energy, the corruption element will be reduced. The nature will take a larger space in the process, rather than contracts and political gains. I remember that the Minister of Works, the Power Minister, Mr. Fashola, when he came in, he made an announcement that he was coming with a policy on multifaceted approach. Energy from gas, the one from solar, the one from coal, and I was going to package something for us to see. I haven't seen it. I think we need not to put all our eggs in one basket. The regulation, the law that says everything you produce must go to the national grid should be reviewed. It makes some states or some communities to be lazy. If I'm able to produce 1 kilowatt, I should be entitled to consume it and use it the way I like. Not that I must give it to those who have not made any effort to produce any. So these are the ways I think we should approach it.
Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George. I'm going to let the two experts, take their turns at that. First of all, give me your perspective on your comments on
like what you really said. For me, I still maintain the point of let's focus on gas. Even though he's talking of cost, I will compare the cost of, if you want to talk of gas today and solar, gas is still cheaper compared to solar.
Okay, and the infrastructure for it.
And again,
the infrastructure for it.
The infrastructure
is already on ground.
We already have the infrastructure.
Unlike solar.
Unlike solar. And like what I said the other time, that for instance, if we want to produce solar on a large scale, we need to restructure our grid. Our grid. We are going to tamper with our grid because you are going to have a separate grid. You have to decentralize the grid. You have to. You need to have a separate grid for solar.
How about the point Mr. George made about, look, if I produce from solar, I should be able to consume as I see fit, as opposed to contributing it. Is this part of what you're saying, that decentralize it so that it goes to a separate kind of
separate? But you have to look at. We are talking of consumers. For you to decentralize that, we have commercial consumers, we have industrial consumers, and we have household consumers. Now, how do you compare? Where do you subsidize? Where is the subsidy coming? Who are you going to subsidize out of these three for you to have to supply solar directly to these three sets of consumers?
Okay, I take a point.
Same area.
I got to interrupt.
And the money the money you are investing to decentralize this grid again is enough to actually set up.
Exactly.
Okay, I hear you, Chief Onova. I'm going to come to you, but let me bring
alternative to Niger Delta.
On the line. Good morning, Reverend Dominic.
Good morning, Yori.
Thank you for calling.
Chief Onova, good morning.
Good morning.
Chief Yori, to develop this nation today, I say it's a choice. To not develop it is our choice. I say this for this. Chief Onova, when I met him early in LTV many years ago, I knew this guy have intelligence and expert in engineering, electrical engineering. And he became my friend, he went through fresh, he contested as senator, and he has moved on today. Look at what he said now, that the acting vice president don't like his name. When Macron wanted...
I don't know why he said that. I don't know why he said Professor Osinbajo doesn't like his face, but he did say it.
Listen to me, let me say it. When Macron won election in France, the first person he appointed as one of his cabinet ministers was on opposition. Why? Because we need development. Politics is over. Now we need to develop. We need enemies and friends to develop. Let me give you an example. In 1989, Osinbajo won election as MPP. He took Onga Kanu, who was an MPN master businessman, to develop Imo State, even though it's on opposition. So the choice is this. Either we look like people like Chief Onova, whether they are in PDP or FCN or Cabal, to develop Nigeria, or we play politics and leave Nigeria the way it is. And I'm not an expert, but this is the answer. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Chief Onova says you chill for us. But Chief Onova, let me come to you. Let me come to you. Well, what do you mean when you said the vice? Because everybody that knows Professor Osinbajo would think he's not that kind of a person. No. What do you mean Osinbajo doesn't like my face?
It's not personal.
Okay.
It's not personal. I'm one of the most vociferous opponents of the APC government, and it is not personal.
Okay. Okay. That's what you meant.
He's a leading light in the APC, so it is natural.
Okay. So you
no, it is natural.
In logic,
and that is what
you jumped a few steps in logic.
No.
That's what you said.
That's what Reverend Dominic has corrected.
Okay.
That you don't look at political opponents. The APC are political opponents to us.
Okay.
That we are not going to pretend about.
Okay. So
and if they, after the elections, they should follow the advice. When you say political opponents to us, of which party are you talking about? Your National Conscience Party.
National Conscience Party.
I ran against Buhari.
Yeah. Of course. And I don't think it was that wasn't the first time.
So it wasn't the first time. So if that is the idea they have, that they alone know everything and can do everything, we have seen that they don't know everything and they cannot do everything.
Okay, Mazi Okoroafo, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Onova and Dr. Ibiemi. I want to
no, it's Chief Onova and Dr. Ibiemi.
Yes, Onova and Ibiemi. I want to find out, see, Nigerians are complaining of power, day in, day out. And that is why we have a lot of companies, factories named and folding in Nigeria. But I've discovered that the inverter batteries we use in Nigeria, in all this our conversion from solar to normal, it's always very expensive. And at the end of the day, you see that what you are buying is of substandard. Now, see how much people spend in order converting all these things and buying them. And these things are very, very expensive. And we have a problem during rainy season. Whether it is solar, whether it is electricity, we still have a problem. Either the light will be there, or the current will not change. Why is this so in Nigeria? Is it because all these products we have are coming from China, or that we in Nigeria that we bring wrong things, or where you don't know exactly what we are supposed to do? Because power or is the major thing that is affecting Nigeria in terms of business moving day in, day out. Thank you very much, because this season is getting out of proportion about life. Thank you very much. Have a busy day in Lagos.
Indeed, thank you very much. So Chief Onovo, okay, the subject moved away. I wanted you to comment on Mr. George's
well,
submission.
the first thing about Mr. George's first and major comment about how we spent over $40 billion and didn't get power. I'm sure he knows the answer because his subsequent statements mentioned corruption. I want to tell you clearly, don't use my data. Let us use government data. And the NEC, the Electricity Regulatory Commission, their data is $1.5 billion per 1,000 megawatts.
$1 billion?
Dollars per 1,000 megawatts. That's their own number. My own number, and I have built projects. Don't forget that I worked in the oil industry. And we power ourselves. We don't use your power. And we don't lose power. We always have power because we power ourselves. Our own data is about $1 billion per 1,000 megawatts. But let us use the government data.
Sorry, explain that. When you say $1 billion per
1,000 megawatts.
What are you talking about?
It means that if you want to build...
build. Okay.
Yes, if you want to build capital cost.
The capital cost. The capital cost. I got Dari on the line. Good morning, Dari.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling me.
How are you, sir?
Very well, thank you.
Uncle Yori, I want to disagree. I want to chip in an opinion and also disagree with the position of Engineer Novo on the effectiveness of solar panel. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, good. I am not an engineer, but I happen to be a user of solar panel.
A builder?
I can tell you,
okay.
A user. I am an end user.
A user. Okay.
Yes. I can tell you the effectiveness of a solar panel. Now, for example, let me quickly share my experience with you.
Sure.
I live in an off-grid area in the last 5 years. Off-grid areas where there is no power, national grid. Now, when I got there in 2011, I invested on solar panel and inverter system. I had to upgrade it over again in 2012. But I want to confirm to you that from 2012 till date, there has never been a 30 minutes power outage in my house. Now, the beauty of it is that this same system powers all my power needs in such a way that today, if there is a grid in my area, I don't have a need to connect to the national grid because it's just going to be a waste of time. So my concern is when I hear people say solar power don't work, I just think it's because our government is not serious about it. It's because we are not making the right investment in solar panel. Now, this may also interest you. I have a 7-year-old daughter today who doesn't know until recently that NEPA takes up power in Nigeria. That there is nothing that it is possible for power to be off. Now, the point I am trying to make here is that in those days when we go out to places to go visit friends, she would tell me when she was 5 and 6, she would tell me, my dad, they don't want to on their light because they don't want me to watch my cartoon.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
thank you very much, Dari. Really, really appreciate this personal story and personal account. As he said, he's in an off-grid area. There's a sense in which what he says relates to what you also said about UAE.
Exactly.
That
private homes.
Yes, there was no option. They don't have oil, they don't have gas, they don't have anything. Now, Mr. Dari here, he was in that kind of a situation. So for him, it's working. But what the conversation this morning really is on how viable the concept is to spread this and
nationwide.
He has not talked of any of the downsides, just the upsides. But you have emphasized those ones, that it costs more than a few kobo to set up.
Maybe I can respond very briefly.
Sure.
I cannot challenge his personal experience. Mm-hmm. What we're talking about is the average general experience.
Okay.
Yeah. I have my own experience because I bought from the US. I didn't buy from the Nigerian market.
That's your solar lamp?
Yes, no, not just solar lamp.
Okay.
Garden lamps. You install in your garden,
yes.
it stores energy and it comes on.
Sure.
So, and it didn't last even a year.
Okay.
And I bought them myself from the US.
Quality of manufacture, durability, etc. Those are also factors.
That's what I'm talking about, reliability. I didn't say it doesn't work. So if you understood me to mean that it doesn't work, no. It works.
No.
It is not commercially and economically competitive. We're saying it takes too much space. We're saying the same environmental issue you're complaining about, our gas to power solution. Because what I'm saying is not only my opinion.
Yes.
I agree it's my opinion, but it's also the opinion of the Nigerian Society of Engineers.
That's right.
It was also the opinion of the General Chief, Dr. Obasanjo government.
Let me take Isiaka calling in from Kebbi State. Good morning, sir. Okay, we lost him.
So what, like what he said.
Mm-hmm. That was a personal experience.
On a personal level. But we may consider areas that are yet to be connected to national grids. Mm-hmm. I believe the person calling from Kebbi State may want to come in to say that solar is good because of the availability of sunlight. So if you are looking at it is good. It's good.
But can you fund it?
We are not rolling it
the
out.
viability.
Can you fund it?
The viability. Then, if you are looking at areas where there is no national grid that are yet to be connected, government can look at that as an option.
Which I think, I wonder if that isn't the focus of the Vice President.
I may not, the focus is to use it nationwide. But my own advice is for areas that are yet to be connected, they may look at it.
It's an option.
As an option.
That's the correct language. They may look at it. It's an option.
Okay. Goke, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Good morning to you all in the station.
Good morning.
Hello?
We're waiting for you, Goke. Thank you for calling in.
You. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I will have to commend you for your program. It's quite incisive and quite informative.
Very kind of you.
Yeah, but the last caller, I quite agree with the gentleman in the studio.
The last caller was Mr. Dare, who gave us his eyewitness account.
Yeah, I said I agree with the men in the studio that we should go for gas to power.
Okay, thank you. That's the point. Thank you very much for calling in. Yeah, so, that's what this program is about. We're hearing all the options. We're hearing the pros and the cons. Solar, it has its uses, especially if you're off-grid. You've explained there's no alternative. You don't want to be in the darkness. It was, when his little daughter said, these people don't want to switch on their light so as not to consume their power, because she probably has been taught that you must be very, very, the way we waste electricity here.
Very important.
We waste it here.
Strong national point.
Yes.
No discipline.
There was a time back in the day, NTA actually used to advise us, when NTA was the only station, at the end of it, they'd say, please go and switch off all the lights. Here we waste energy. Water will run anyhow, power will run anyhow. So I don't know if we even are aware of how to be responsible with our consumption of this asset, because we think of it as a renewable asset, not a wasting asset. Examine that aspect of it.
We have a lot of campaign, even from side of NEC and the DISCOs, the electricity distribution companies today, that yes, what we receive from the transmission company help us to conserve so that we'll be able to supply you more energy. Yeah. I think the campaign, the awareness is ongoing, but I think it's one of the areas. But the most important thing is for the government to invest in power.
Invest in power.
Invest in power.
And if they want to look at
when you want to invest in power,
it should be the preferred.
You should look at gas for now. We look at gas for now
for many reasons.
For many reasons. Number one, to create jobs. If you say,
well, the vice president was saying that the solar
another position which the government will say they are looking at is maybe sunlight in terms of being a cleaner source of gas. Gas is also clean.
That's my point.
Yeah, it's also clean because it's also
at least
it's also environmental.
In your car.
It's also environmental friendly because if you look at Niger Delta today, as a result of the activities of NLNG, we'll be able to reduce gas flaring below 30%. So if we now devote our attention to utilization of this associated gas again for power, definitely Niger Delta, the kind of crisis we have in the Niger Delta, environmental crisis, will become a thing of the past.
Okay, good morning, Yakub. Thank you very much for calling in.
Very clear.
Go ahead, Yakub.
Very good morning, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, this very particular topic is a very unique one. I want to look into it as in a politics angle of it, sir. You see, the major, let me even call it major, the major problem we have in this country is one, a politics of winner take it all. Are you getting me, sir? Winner take it all is that, look at, I can even give you two names, a friend of this very particular program. Barrister Osinbajo sitting down there, engineer Osinbajo sitting down there, I can mention Balasaka. Imagine if they can be able to call these very particular two people and giving them a minister of power and all that. What do you think is going to happen in this country? But
Engineer Osinbajo wants to be president, not minister. Engineer Osinbajo wants to be president, not minister.
I can tell you if they persuade by Osinbajo sitting down there, persuade him, tell him that we need you in this kind of a station we find ourselves.
Okay.
We will have that presidential ambition, and then since he wants to work for Nigeria, he will take it.
Okay.
But if they will never take somebody like this. You know why? All these politicians, by the time they get to that position, all what they are focusing, their family, their pocket, and then if they even call Barrister Osinbajo, they will call him, come. This is how we are doing it. And then somebody like Barrister Osinbajo will never go to their he will never tell them, okay, let me resign. Because he has ambition to become a president. Rather than somebody to address his ambition. That's how God bless you.
Oh dear, thank you very, very much. So you took cognizance of the fact that engineer, not barrister, engineer Osinbajo is also a politician.
Yes.
And that when the time comes, as soon as, you see, what he was implying, interesting little diversion, that all the good men, once they get within the corridors of power, they become corrupted and become...
No, it's the process they used to get there.
Ruben Abati says.
Yes.
That, the spirit
it's the
in
process.
There's the spirit
There's a spirit in Aso.
Those spirits are invited by those people. It's the process. When you have got to power through political violence, rigging, and all sorts of evil, then you have called all the spirits.
Okay, let me take Bola from Mushin as our last caller. Good morning. We're waiting on you. Bola, Mushin, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, go right ahead. We're waiting for you. Can you hear us?
Good morning.
Okay, quickly. You're losing time.
Morning,
Go on.
please. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah,
we can hear you, sir.
Morning. What happened to our hydro system? I mean, we've been using that for decades, and they keep functioning.
Okay, we'll take that. Let's end that question. Thank you very much for calling. Okay, he threw in hydro. What hydro is what we're on now. That's what we depend on.
No, that you depend more on gas, not hydro.
We depend more on gas.
Oh yes.
Okay, so
Egbin is the biggest power station in the country. He uses gas. He uses gas. Ueli, Sapele.
Does hydro play any role?
Yes, there's hydro. Hydro is Kainji.
Hydro is Kainji. And Shiroro.
Kainji, for example, has a named place capacity of about 760, if my memory is right.
So what the gentleman was...
But he's doing only about 200. It's obsolete. It's very old.
I think that's what the gentleman needed to hear.
It's very old.
Kainji
is very old. You just need to rebuild Kainji. Count the number of years. You need to rebuild Kainji.
They plan also the Mambila
Yeah, Mambila is supposed to bring in a lot of power.
Mambila is supposed to bring about
a lot of power.
About 3,000 or
yes,
3,400 or 500 megawatts.
Indulge my ignorance. Are you saying that there's nothing wrong with hydro? Is that just that our hydros are obsolete?
Kainji specifically.
Kainji specifically.
It's good that he's mentioning Mambila. Yes. Mambila is the new project that's coming on.
Which is also hydro.
But can you also finance it? Because you're borrowing too much.
So we're looking at state-of-the-art, hydro dams.
Mambila is currently ongoing.
Funding is a major problem for hydro. Because, for instance, if we have gas, which we are flaring.
Which is also an environmental constraint, because you better use it for power.
I don't have the time. I would have loved to take a few seconds to explain to the ordinary guy why we are flaring gas.
Yeah.
But it seems like such a waste.
To Niger Delta, you go to host-oil communities, you see the kind of sort of diseases, a lot of heat, ills. Even some of them,
it's very bright in the night because of the flares.
You are eating good fish in Lagos. Can you get that kind of fish in those oil communities in the Niger Delta?
Okay, gentlemen.
So we need to convert those.
Is at zero as far as time is concerned. Complete, not reserved. Our tank is at zero. Thank you very, very much, Dr. Samuel Ibiemi, publisher of Nigeria News Direct and also an energy consultant. Thank you very much for coming on the program. And Engineer Martin, let me put Chief in there. Engineer Chief Martin Onovo, energy expert and presidential hopeful. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
For me to add, I hope your position will not change. When you have a consultant who is coming to offer you a solar
contract.
And
well, that's our program. I'm Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.